Denver 7 News at 6:30. With kids across the metro heading back to school, parents, we know it could be a juggling act to get them to and from school and after-school activities.
So why not set up a rideshare service to help out? All new this morning, we have a look at this new trend and the measures to keep your kids safe.
Plus, getting a small business up and running can be tough, but a startup in Colorado wants you to know we're in good company.
Because if there's one place that a business can tell their story the way they want it to be told, it should be on their website.
We introduce you to the company making it easier and cheaper for mom and pop shops to get online.
The weather pattern is changing. Today's going to be quite a bit cooler and pretty wet. In fact, we have a flash flood watch going into effect this afternoon for the southern front range. We could also see a little localized flooding here in Denver. I'll show you the timing of this coming up.
And this video of a runaway zebra will definitely have you talking this morning.
Wow, I cannot wait to see more of that. As we take a live look right now from our Lookout Mountain camera over the front range, and a nice sunrise coming in underneath some of the clouds. We will have some rain chances, so you'll want to pay attention to the forecast in case you're headed to one of the big concerts that's going to be in town this weekend. Welcome back to Denver 7 News at 6:30. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. We want to get right over to Lisa in the Weather Center with our first alert for some storms possible, as Brian mentioned tonight, Lisa.
Yeah, and some good news for the kids that are in school today. Don't worry, your friends that aren't will not be at the pool this afternoon because it is going to be dry but cooler through midday. But those storms are going to develop after about 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2, first in the foothills. And then we could see some heavy rain and lightning through the afternoon into the early evening. It's also quite a bit cooler. Now, we were in the low 80s early July. Since then, it's been mid to upper 80s, if not 90s and triple digits. Today's going to be one of the coolest days that we've seen, well, in about a month with those low 80s. Pretty shot from our Viero camera there in Lyman. This is one of the spots where we could see some larger hail and damaging winds. We'll take a look at the threat for flooding and also that severe weather, Jason, where we could see those storms coming up.
And right now we have a huge problem out to the west side of town. It's affecting both sides of I-70. The crash is on the eastbound side between Ward Road and Kipling. A moment ago, Air Tracker 7 was over it. You can actually see the skid marks right in here as that truck went right into the crash wall and then spun around. The driver was hurt pretty significantly, and you can see how much damage was done. It is one of those street sweeper trucks, and so it's going to take some time to haul this out of here. We're going to have some lanes blocked for some time. Take a look at the drive that we have going on there by Ward Road. I mean, you see from the CDOT camera there how traffic is not moving. So I-70 is not the way to go. 6th Avenue is. You can see even from the drive times now that 6th Avenue is about 10 to 15 minutes here. The other side of the highway is about 45 minutes, so it's going to be a horrible drive on I-70. Much better on 6th Avenue. The rest of the commute just getting busier in those usual spots.
Today, results of an environmental assessment are expected to come back at Metropolitan State University of Denver. This is part of the university's probe to see if there's a link to 4 professors recently being diagnosed with cancer. Denver 7 reporter Eric Lufer is at the campus this morning with what's expected to happen next.
A town hall meeting is set for this Monday. That is where university officials will share the results of an environmental test. Right now, they're saying there's no reason to believe that the West Classroom building is unsafe and that this test was out of an abundance of caution. A few weeks back, it was revealed the university wasn't taking any chances, though, after 3 staffers who all worked in the West Classroom building on campus revealed they have cancer. 2 of those employees have breast cancer. A 3rd has liver cancer. All were diagnosed in the last 6 months. 2 years ago, a 4th co-worker died from lung cancer. But after the news broke, this retired Metro State education professor talked to Denver 7. She says she's been taking a running list of her colleagues diagnosed with cancer.
Out of 14 people, we had 10 different people diagnosed with a variety of cancers.
She says every single one of them worked with her in the West Classroom. Right now, the university is focusing on a small cluster of offices on the 2nd floor. Leslie would like to see their work expanded to find out if it's an unfortunate coincidence or a serious health concern. Again, results from that environmental test are due back today, but they won't be released to the public until Monday, the 12th of this month. It'll happen at 3 o'clock in the afternoon during a town hall meeting at the King Center right here on campus. I'm Eric Lufer. Denver7.
And we'll have the results of those tests as soon as they're available. Meanwhile, questions continue this morning in light of this video out of Colorado Springs. It shows the police chasing a 19-year-old black man during a robbery investigation. Those officers eventually shot and killed that man, saying he reached for a gun. Protests have taken over Colorado Springs over the past 2 days.
He didn't have anything in his hands. He did not brandish any type of weapon. The police officer did not try and chase him, did not try and tase him. He took out his gun and he shot him.
Those officers are now on leave, and body cam footage is waiting to be released. The mayor of Colorado Springs is calling for peace until the investigation is finished.
Take a look at the progress here CDOT has made on rebuilding the collapsed portion of US 36 in Westminster. On the left there shows when that highway first crumbled. It was a mess. And on the right, meanwhile, showing when Air Tracker 7 flew over it yesterday. Crews have removed a good portion of the highway there and have layered the dirt to add reinforcements to the highway to prevent something like this from happening again. CDOT also finished installing a glare screen to protect drivers from the construction lights. Final repairs could still take weeks, though.
Families living along the Central 70 construction zone may be stuck listening to construction work overnight for the next 3 years. The Central 70 project started last year, and already there are major changes along the corridor between Peoria and Brighton Boulevard. The contractor asked the city of Denver for a noise variance, basically permission to be loud, until December of 2022 so they could work at night. Instead, Denver's Board of Health gave them a 1-year variance. However, that variance was renewable, and now the contractor is asking to renew it. The city is holding a hearing on that variance tonight in the Swansea Recreation Center. Officials say they expect a high turnout of people to weigh in on the noise variance.
All week long and for the weeks to come, we are helping parents and students get ready for back to school. And parents, we know how hard it can be to juggle all the activities your kids take part in. Denver7's Micah Smith has a look at rideshare apps for kids and just how safe they are.
Back to school means back to the grind, and for parents who may not have a large support system, shuffling kids from school to practice to home can be a major challenge. Enter ride shares for kids. We went 360 on this new concept and featured one of the only Uber-like ride share services in the Denver area. That's Hop, Skip, Drive.
It's really easy. The drivers are super friendly. Being a single father, I think that it helps out a lot, especially, you know, if you work full time.
Here's how it works. Parents can sign up for the app, select a pickup and drop off location as well as a time up to 8 hours in advance. Then parents can create a code that the driver and kids must know.
They can check everything, the record and everything, make sure we are who we are. Saya, your birthday, please.
Parents can also track the ride. Hop, Skip, Drive says drivers go through a 15-point certification process, background check through the FBI and Department of Justice, and must have 5 years of caregiving experience. Most parents we talked to were willing to give it a try.
If they're vetted and they've got the background checks and whatnot, that might be a good idea.
I think if they leverage the technology appropriately for valid tracking, that would be a good thing.
And kids currently riding love it.
I like it way better than riding the bus.
But maybe you're not convinced. Stranger danger is a real concern. There are other ride shares, though, like these apps, for example, that operate more like a carpool with other parents in your community. In Denver, Micah Smith, Denver7.
First week is the toughest for parents, getting the timing and the routine down. Well, we want to make sure you're ready for back-to-school season. For the next 3 weeks, we'll have you covered as each district heads back to class. Tomorrow, Adams 14 students will go back to school, so we'll look at the changes families might expect there as the district is turned over to outside management due to poor performance. And then next week, on Monday, we're talking all things full-day kindergarten. If you have a question for us about that transition, feel free to email us, contact7@thedenverchannel.com.
As our Colorado grows, rent prices are soaring, but finally, experts say new housing is keeping up with demand and stabilizing rent prices.
In 2010, we only built 498 apartments in the Denver metro area. We're now building that same amount every 2 weeks. So we're seeing a lot of changes here.
Experts say there are 28,000 units under construction in the city of Denver right now.
When it comes to cannabis, Colorado has often been first in the nation, but we're not just talking about marijuana anymore. With the popularity of CBD, more hemp is being grown in our state than ever before. And Denver7's Nicole Brady is live with how the state is working to manage that boom.
Yeah, CBD is all the rage. Of course, you see stores everywhere, and that means demand for hemp is high, and the state is hoping to capitalize on that, but to do it in a responsible way. The Agriculture Department has put together the Colorado Hemp Advancement and Management Plan, or CHAMP. This is part of a federal requirement that states have a plan for regulating hemp, but Colorado is taking it a step further. Members of CHAMP will study and help develop the entire supply chain here in Colorado, from farm to final product, and look at everything involved with growing this industry.
And we have everyone from the Colorado Bankers Association to the National Hemp Industry Association, local law enforcement, state agencies, health agencies.
And the state also acknowledges that we don't know what the future holds for CBD, if it's going to stay so popular or if prices will come down. So a lot, of course, is also riding on how the FDA decides to regulate CBD. So protecting the farmers from making a bad investment is also a big part of CHAMP. In Denver this morning, Nicole Brady, Denver7.
We have a traffic alert for you tonight.
Yeah, a lot of concerts this weekend at Coors Field and the Pepsi Center tonight. Expect traffic jams in downtown Denver. Billy Joel is performing tonight at Coors Field. Crews have been working on the stage there for days now, and the Backstreet Boys are at the Pepsi Center tonight.
And Saturday, the Rolling Stones will play at Broncos Stadium at Mile High. That concert was delayed from May when Mick Jagger had surgery. And Lisa, we could unfortunately see some storms tonight.
Yeah, it looks like each night, in fact. Here's a look at your weekend concerts. Well, right now, it's on. Can you hear me? Microphone, hello, check. No, Jason.
Anyway, it's going to be quite rainy here tonight. We do have the lights that are out right by Coors Field right now on Park Avenue West, right at Delgany, and so we do have I guess it's a four-way stop here that we're working our way through. So it is going to be pretty big delays coming from I-25, getting past Coors Field right now. So 20th Street might be a better option.
Somebody actually cut her mic.
Finally. Just kidding. Starting a small business is a large feat, but one company is making sure we're in good company, Colorado. I'll detail how they're helping mom and pop shops get off the ground.
And this is a wild police chase we're sure you've never seen before.